the end of the day, selling is transferring a feeling. If you don't have the feeling, you can't transfer it. If you don't have a good, positive feeling, dude, you're an actor. You have to sell and run your business from a place of positivity. And however you get there, God bless you. Trent, I wore a striped shirt so that everybody knows that I have more than just flannel shirts. Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It's episode 25 with Trent Ranburger from Trent Bedding in Bowling Green, Kentucky. This show is brought to you by my book, Sell a Million, 101 Tips for Furniture and Mattress Store Owners to make more sales and more profits. Trent, how are you today?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So when me and Chris were talking, Chris came up with this think outside the box springs because I was describing you and I said, you know, this dude's a rock star in our industry and he's so creative and he's always like thinking outside the box. And then like when Chris was sending stuff over for the shows, he had think outside the box springs. So I thought that's it in a nutshell. And Chris, if you could, I want you to give the audience a little taste of Trent's creativity with his rap video.
Hey y'all, Lil Trent, about to bust out with some sick rhymes. Oh yeah, here we go. Don't forget your headboards, pillows, and your sheets. We got everything you need for a good night's sleep. Number one on the same check, best of Bowling Green.
All right.
Hey!
Twins, full, queen and king, mattresses for anything. Come and pick it out and we can bring it to your house. Have you sleeping real good before the weekend's out. Trent Bedding, Trent Bedding, Trent Bedding. It's just like a mattress store. Trent Bedding, Trent Bedding, Trent Bedding, Trent Bedding. It's just like a mattress store. Hey.
There are so many brick and mortar store owners and businesses that would give their right arm to have that kind of creativity. And what was the inspiration for that? How did you come up with that, dude?
So that one goes back a long way, back to 2009. There was a gentleman, Sammy Stevens, and he owned a flea market in Montgomery, Alabama. And he had a viral video back, 12 years ago now, about Flea Market Montgomery. And it was a rap that he did, just a silly rap. I recreated it in 2009. And it was a hit for us here in Bowling Green and surrounding communities. And then I've got some buddies there. They're a rap, country rap artist group. And they wanted to redo the rap, and that's where that one came from. Was just a few years ago we got together in their studio and rewrote it, so to speak. And yeah, it's just like a mattress store. I don't know. It's crazy. It's not caring to be different, you know.
Yeah.
Be the first one to laugh at yourself.
Yep, that's huge, but. You know, one of the things that I talk about in my book, and actually it says antennas up. And when I say antennas up, I mean, you're having a day off, you're enjoying yourself, you're away from all this stuff. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen, you have no idea who that was, Trent, do you?
I don't. I can't see. I don't.
Oh my gosh. Well, Dan is a published author and I keep his book. I can't find it. Can you believe it? I read his book every day. He's a very very talented sales trainer, business consultant. He's just awesome. So he's expecting the puppet. He wanted the puppet.
I mean,
You know what?
It's a puppet.
Sometimes little Trent is a little shy. You know, he's a little finicky sometimes.
You know, he's my best employee. He doesn't talk much. He's overnight security. He's always here. So, yeah. He's hanging out front.
So one of the things that I'm always talking about is you have to be the marketer of your business. And if you leave marketing of your business up to somebody else, you better at least know the basics so that you know what's good and what's not. But what Trent touched upon, you know what, there has to be a fearlessness in you. And so what if you fall flat on your face with a promotion? It doesn't matter. So what?
One.
Yeah.
Go to the next.
Next.
It's always coming next. And you're right. I mean, you know, I just took a week off, but yet I came up with ideas because you never stop as a true business owner, marketer, whatever you want to call it, crazy person. This thing, my brain never stops. So it's always ever going. And that's why I keep a notepad and my phone with me so I can write down notes when ideas hit. And don't be scared.
Do you know what amazes me about business in general, Trent?
What's that?
That the very best people are the ones that are always seeking out additional knowledge, and the ones who desperately need it the most won't watch. I got Jeff Janakovo texting me going, I'm watching the show. It's great. I love Trent. I love Little Trent. I love the rap video.
We love you, Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff Janakovo, one of the best marketers in our industry also.
I love Jeff so much I can't even pronounce his last name right.
So listen, I am going to flip from us joking around to something very serious, because last June you made me cry, and I'm going to show. Go ahead, Chris, and pull up you made in a good way.
Okay.
That's your back. And you published that on LinkedIn. Let me tell you why I cried. Because you made this statement, I've never shown anybody this before. This is my back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's National Scoliosis
Yep.
Awareness Month in June. And you went out there, Trent, fearlessly and put yourself out there. And, you know, everybody says, oh, yeah, I feel your pain. But when it comes to this, you really do feel their pain. You're the only one who really knows. I can try to get there, Trent, but you live with this and you understand this, and you are more qualified to talk about this to a customer that suffers from this than anybody on planet Earth. Unless there's another mattress store owner that has this condition, there's nobody more qualified to talk about it. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being who you are. You know, we need more people like you in our industry who are fearless, who share things that they wouldn't necessarily share to help people.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
And that's what we're supposed to do in our industry. Yeah. In any industry, you're there to take care of your client, your customer. You're there to take care of them, but you're there to fill their needs, not yours, you know? And that's where a lot of salespeople lose. I don't know. Maybe they're trained wrong. I don't know. But we're here to help, not here to take money, so to speak.
Well,
so, you know, and I can share, if I could share this, and that's the first time in my life I've ever done that I've ever posted that picture. And but that's me. And, you know, I didn't choose this industry per se. I think God put me in this industry, not to be religious by any means, but, you know, I'm here for a reason. And I'll be glad when I figure out that reason.
Well,
Other than helping everybody sleep.
you know what? There's nothing more important than sleep. When we talk to athletes who are trying to perform at elite levels, the one thing that they have to get right is they have to get their sleep right. If they don't get their sleep right, they can train all day long, but they'll never recover for the next workout. They can eat the most perfect diet, no junk, all perfect stuff, metered into their bloodstream at the right time, perfect nutrition. But if you don't sleep, you're never going to recover for the next workout. And I think that's true with everybody. It doesn't, one of the things that they're finding now, and one study after the others confirming it, Trent, is people who are trying to lose weight, you would do better to concentrate on your sleep than on your calories.
Yep.
So
I've got a really good friend. He's a state trooper, professional bodybuilder, and professional eater. How those three go together, I don't know. But he was the Titan for the Tennessee Titans. Like, he's a huge individual, and he's a big proponent of sleep and a big spokesman for us here at Trent Bedding of why sleep is important for him to rejuvenate and re-energize and let his body heal. We heal while we sleep, and it is a very important thing, and that's, people don't think about it, but that's, without a good night's sleep, you don't have good productivity, you don't have good output, you don't have good anything.
Yeah. It's so important and so critical. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you for that. One of the things that we talk about constantly is knowing your market, choosing your market before you choose your media, before you choose your message. And, it's the oldest, trio: message, market, media. But if you don't know who your target is, you're going to spend so much money. It's different today than it was 20 years ago, Trent.
Oh.
There's so many more places to spend your advertising dollars. And to me, you're going to go, chances are you're going to go broke before you figure it out, unless
100%.
There's some kind of divine, unless you're in the industry a long time and you really are in tune with it and you have figured it out. And I think that's why when you look at business statistics and you look at people who succeed opening businesses, have almost always worked in that business for a period of time.
I've been doing this 23 years.
Yeah.
And I've been buying marketing, buying advertising for 22 years in my market, in my area. So I do know the area. But you're right. 20 years ago, it was newspaper, print, and radio. That was it. That's all we had to worry about. It was simple. And now it's, AdWords and digital and social. And I mean, just you're exactly right. You'll go broke figuring out what not to do. And trust me, I have spent a ton of money just throwing money out the window. You don't know.
Yeah. We always say measure, and you try to measure the best you can, but it's still a guess. It really is. I mean, you have to try to measure, but it's so in just broad strokes, if you were given somebody that's opened up a sleep shop, he's not doing the kind of business that he wants to do in a sleep shop, and you were coaching him on how to divide his media buy, what advice would you give that new business owner?
Well, it depends on if he's going to listen, but
well, he's an owner, so he's not going to listen, right?
He's not going to listen. He knows more than me.
That's why he's an owner.
Yeah. I don't know nothing. No, like you said, know your market and your local area. And I've had this saying for years: with my business, with our industry, minus the internet, we are a 3 to 5 mile radius of our store business, right? So you own your backyard. You want to own your backyard. And that means the 3 to 5 miles that surround your store, you want to own that. Own it. Once you own that, you can expand. But until you own your backyard, don't expand. Don't worry about 45 miles down the road or 20 miles down the road. 3 to 5. And that's how I,
that's great advice.
I don't know. Look, I'm a college dropout, so I don't have education. But
you have education. You just paid a lot more money for it.
A lot more money than they ever thought about paying for education. College education, what? $250,000? I'm well over $1 million.
Yeah.
Own your backyard. Yeah. Own your backyard. And it sounds silly, but even in the digital era, Pete, like that's still your clientele base. That's your business.
It's more true now than even before, if you think about it.
People aren't traveling. They're not going to drive.
Yeah.
A lot aren't. A lot are, but a lot will not.
Yeah.
So it's hitting those.
So let's talk about you have done a great job of becoming meshed into your community. You are part of the fabric of your community. Both you and Lil Trent, I might add, are both woven into the fabric of your community. And, this is something that I was thinking about. It's when you give because it's in your heart to give, it comes off with more power and more authenticity than when you're just given because you want something back. I want something back, so I'm going to give something. When I see you out there giving and doing things for your community, you're really just doing it. And I want to bring you back in time at the beginning of, you call this whatever you want to call it, a pandemic or whatever. You reached out, you supported fellow retailers with your advertising efforts. You supported other stores in other industries, local businesses. And I said, well, there's a master class in being a human being, and there's a master class in how to really put yourself out there the right way. But it comes from your heart. I mean, I think you were feeling what we were all feeling. We were frustrated. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to think about anything. We just knew that some really good people with some really good stores probably going to go out of business if we don't try to help them somehow.
And I don't know where that really came about. Of course, we were closed, pandemic.
Yeah.
And we're non-essential. Imagine that. Anyway, we won't go into the state of Kentucky.
That could be a whole hour by itself there, Trent.
Ooh, I'm not running for president, thank God. But no, I was coming to the store every day, even though we were closed, and I was like, you know what? I got other friends, because I got, I don't have many friends. I pay for most of them, but I got a few. They own their own businesses, and they were closed, and I don't know. I was sitting here live one morning. I was like, you know what? Let's help. Let's pick 5 businesses a day. Let's tag them. Let's help them. Let's make sure they're local. And, even some of the chain restaurants in your town, in my town, they're still owned by local people. So they're still local. Yeah. So support local. And it was just I don't know. It was a moment in my head. And that's just, that's me. I speak to a lot of college classes, and my thing is, without the community, I'm not in business. So I've got to give back to the community as much as possible without giving my business away. But the more you give, whether you want it back or not, eventually, like I said, I've been on the board of a lot of different, nonprofits, and one that's near to me is the American Red Cross. And I always say, I give to the Red Cross because one day my house might catch on fire and I may need help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need help one day.
Yeah.
So if I can help now, hopefully, I'll get help when I need it.
Yeah. Chris, can you fish through those slides and find that one about local businesses and Amazon? Just keep going. Right there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And thousands of stores throughout America love you for that, Trent.
I've seen that on a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's true.
100% true.
I've got trophies I'm very proud of. I didn't coach the ball teams, but I sponsored the ball teams. I've got those. Those are kids that are now adults, honestly, still call me coach.
Ah, that's wonderful.
You've got to support local. You've got to.
Support local and own your backyard. If you do those two things, you're going to be a lot better. How do we help somebody, Trent, who owns a store, who's a little bit stuck in the mud, and they're just not finding their way creatively? I have this vision of you that you have always been extremely creative, and maybe it's a wrong impression, because I see the fruit of your labor. I see all of these commercials, and I see all of, and it's more than commercials. It's all of your marketing. It's all of your outreach to your community. And it just strikes me as, you are probably in the top 1% of the most creative people that I've seen. You and Janakovo both. You guys are just scary. And I have a sneaking suspicion, because I told my wife when I was dating her, I said, you gotta be careful, because when I am getting creative, I could have literally 5 secretaries around me, and I could just go ping, 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 ping. I can't get it out of my mouth fast enough. When the creative juices they hit me so hard and all at once that I have to slow down to even utter the words. I mean, I'm seeing pictures and things are flashing, and I've seen smoke coming out of Jeff Janakovo's head at a super conference. The first time I met him, I went to approach him, and he was writing down so fast, and I knew what was happening. And as I approached, I got within 10 feet of him. He didn't see me, and I turned around and I went the other way. And like years ago, I told him, and he knows this, he's starting to laugh if he's watching it right now. I didn't want to interrupt, because I know that, like, when that creativity hits, you gotta roll with it. You gotta write everything down, because it's like it just disappears if you don't try to capture it somehow. So what advice would you give someone to help them maybe be a little bit more creative?
Write down every thought. Never. Okay, so I have a thing, I call it spaghetti thoughts, right? So spaghetti, when you know it's done, what do? You throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it's done. So, right? Or when it doesn't stick, it's done. Whatever the case may be. So it's called spaghetti thoughts. Never leave a thought unsaid or unwritten. Even if it may be the dumbest, stupidest, most ignoramus thing that comes out of your head. Either say it or put it on paper, because you never know what someone else might hear in that and be able to play off of it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I want your opinion. I truly want your opinion. I'm not a dictator. I have in my mind maybe what I want, right, Pete? Like, I have an idea for a commercial.
Right.
So I throw it out there. Well, Steve, he may say, well, what if we did this? And what if we did that? And that's how things play. But if you don't write it down or you don't say it, it's gone. Write it down.
Okay.
And it's spaghetti thoughts.
Write it down. Got
never not say it. And you know, it's like, I just bought a house, and you know, my girlfriend and I were talking the other day, and I was like, you know, in the basement, I'm kind of making it a man cave. Imagine that. But
shocking.
I kind of have in my mind how I want it. But even with her, you know, and this goes away from business. This goes in life, right? Whoa, will be inspirational in life. Y'all listen. So I asked her, I was like, well, what do you think about, you know, the color of the paint? And she's like, it's whatever you want, whatever you want. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I want your opinion. I want your idea as well. I'm not a dictator. I want more opinions. And I really think I got way off track on this one because I have ADD. But anyway,
we're in trouble. Chris, you're going to have to guide us at some point because I'm in the boat with Trent.
Sorry. Yeah, we're going to have somebody. But no, you just say the idea, want the opinions, accept the opinions, and play off of them. And that's how things happen. That's how great things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a great idea. I got a great idea. Let's make it really great, you know, together.
Yeah. A lot of times, I'll when I'm with a dealer, I'll say, I'm just spitballing. I haven't even thought this through. And literally I am spitballing. Like, you're going to come up with something off of this. It's 10 times better than what I'm thinking, but here it is, blah, blah, blah. And then usually they'll take it, throw it back at me. And then I'll say, that's cool. And I didn't even think about that. What about this? And then by the time it happens 3 or 4 times, you've got either one or two things that are like they're new. It's like absolutely brand new, something that neither one of us could come up with by ourselves. Right. And that's the beauty, you know, that's really a mastermind. You know, a mastermind doesn't have to be, you know, 8 or 10 people. It can be just 2 people. You know, great give and take, you know, between you and Steve. That's a mastermind. It's a mini mastermind, but it's a mastermind.
Well, and the mastermind is the person that's smart enough to listen to everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
You know, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
No, I want to take notes.
Yeah.
I want to be so amazed at what's being said that I am so busy writing down notes. By the way, I started off with a blank piece of paper. This is what I'm up to so far. It's crazy. You're giving me a lot of great ideas. I'll put them in the show notes, and it can be the beginning of your book that you're going to write, because you need to write at least a few books. You do. And you know that.
I've been told.
Yeah. Well,
I was actually working on one.
Do you want to make a statement?
No.
You don't want the pressure.
Nope.
I get it. I understand. I understand. I understand.
Christmas is coming.
But you have at least 2 or 3 books in you.
And you know, that's the thing though. I don't even know what I would write about.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm just sketching it out right now. So I'll give you a potential table of contents here.
Give me some spaghetti thoughts. I'll play off of them.
All right. So we're helping
maybe that's the title of the book, Pete.
Spaghetti thoughts. I like that. With a big pile of spaghetti. I like that. Write it down, say it, play it off of someone significant in your business, and don't get married to a particular thought. And don't be a dictator. I mean, I think those are all things that you said in the last few minutes.
Yeah. Who knows what I said in the last few minutes?
Oh, well, that's why we have recordings, my friend. That's why we have recordings.
Don't be a
Look at this.
dictator.
Look at Chris. Write
Yeah.
it down. Say it. Play it off someone in your business. Don't be a dictator. You
Simple.
got it. Spaghetti. Just write down spaghetti thoughts, Chris. That's. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna run and get that copyrighted, and then you're gonna say to me,
I've already
Pete,
trademarked.
is it true that I have to pay you for what I came up with on your show? No, I would not do that. I would not do that. Chris, can you go to pick any one of those slides? Just pick a slide.
Scary.
How'd you come up with that? Was that Memorial Day or July 4th?
July 4th.
July 4th? Handsome.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
devil.
that's an homage to my first ever crazy commercial.
That's the first one, huh?
Well, that's not the first one. That's just kind of an homage to it, like a throwback to my first ever crazy commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a July 4th commercial or July commercial. Long story short, I'd been in business 6 months ish. Well, from October to June, so whatever that is. I don't do math well. I'm from Kentucky. But anyway, so the production company comes in and was like, "What are we shooting today?" I said, "I don't really know." I said, "But I want to shoot it from the roof." And he was like, "Well, okay, okay, whatever." And we done a 4th of July, freedom sale. It was freedom. So I had to go through a party store to get up on the roof. And this is in 07. So this is June of 07.
Mm.
I had been doing the family-owned, local, we love you, we love our community commercials, right, for 6-7 months. Shot this commercial at that point, best production ever. Lighting was perfect. Everything was perfect. But I passed an Uncle Sam costume when I had to go through that party store to get to the roof. That damn thing haunted me all night long. On my way to work the next morning, I called Christy, which was my advertising executive. I was like, "Hey, I want to reshoot that commercial." She was like, "Trent, that's the best commercial we've shot. Why would you want to reshoot that?" I said, "I want to be Uncle Sam." She said, "Excuse me, what?" I said, "I want to be Uncle Sam. I want to dress up as Uncle Sam." Her, along with everybody else, told me not to do it because I would ruin my reputation. I would ruin the family wholesomeness of my business. I said, "You know what? I'm paying the bills. Let's try it." The next thing you know, I was Fred Flintstone the next month. I was Elvis the following month. It snowballed. But that's an homage to my first crazy commercial is what that one is.
That's awesome.
We got free hot dogs and free smiles.
One of my favorite of all your images. I mean, that's it in a nutshell, isn't it?
It is. And she was really asleep on a mattress in my store that day.
That makes it even better.
She's not pretending, and I got permission to do that from a random customer.
Wow.
Random. And their daughter literally fell asleep while they were looking for mattresses. And I asked their permission, of course, to do that. And we sell sleep.
So this goes back to antennas up and looking for those moments that could differentiate you from other stores. So the fact these opportunities happen to everybody, but you're so uptight, you don't see it. But
Yeah.
Trent saw it. He goes, "That's a commercial. I better ask permission," which he did. And he got permission. And look at this. I mean, it's the awesomeness is in the authenticity. That's where the real payout is. Parent tested, kid approved, the Trentopedic. Come on. Doesn't get any better than that.
Mm-mm. And this goes back to the whole marketing and whatever. You know how many people shared that of their family?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But that was their grandkid, their niece, their cousin. So you see the opportunity.
Yep.
And don't take advantage of the opportunity per se, but take advantage of the opportunity, because if you don't, someone else will.
Yep.
Don't overindulge in it, and don't brag about it, but take the opportunity, because I knew that's a great picture.
It is.
Also knew her parents, her grandparents, her nieces, her aunts, her uncles, they'd all share that.
Yep.
It was promoting my business as well. So it's
So,
a fine line.
So years and years ago, when we had the Elizabeth Jordan line, when I was with Sutherland,
Sold it.
my baby, I know you did. They kept at Dewey Furniture, they kept going, well, who's Elizabeth Jordan? And I was doing the sales meeting, and the baby fell asleep, and Jenny was with me, my wife, and we just put the baby on the bed. And one of the girls ran and got a camera. She goes, can I take a picture? And I go, sure. She goes, that's Elizabeth Jordan. So Christiana, her first alias was Elizabeth Jordan.
Yeah.
Because she saw, Wendy at Dewey saw the opportunity. She wanted to make it, connect. And that was a great line of mattresses. I don't need to tell you that. You already know that. And it was a great picture. I used it for years, and for a long time. So this to me is just brilliant. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. Me, I am such a lucky guy. Somebody else saw it for me, and I was just smart enough to say, thank you, Lord.
We'll use it. That's it. But that's also surrounding ourselves by people that are smarter than us. And I don't want to say smarter as in knowledge, but yeah, smarter in knowledge. I want to be average of the 5 people I hang with. So yeah, but you were smart enough to realize that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You make your business personal. It's a blessing and a curse, but I market my business everywhere I go because I made myself the face of my business.
Yep.
So it's a blessing that I can be, well, before pandemic, I could be standing in line at McDonald's to get food and talk about selling a mattress.
Yeah.
It's a curse if I might want to be out having a beer with my friends and I'm still selling mattresses at Trent Bedding. So it's a blessing and a curse. But no, you make it personable, be approachable. Because you own a business, because you manage a business, because you work in a business, doesn't mean you're better than anybody. So be approachable, because you never know, especially in our industry, everybody's a potential client. So you never know who you're talking to, A, if they need your product, or B, can you help them do something, or can they help you do something? So never not talk to people. Be approachable. Don't be standoffish. That's ridiculous.
That's great advice.
Got your book written yet, Pete?
Well,
I can co-author it.
I've got this one. This one's already done.
That
And
one
my other one, my other one.
I'd like that book. I've got one, but I would like, can we get it signed? Maybe?
Yeah, of course. As a matter of fact, there's a chapter in this book that you took to an extreme. You got your book handy there or no? Probably not. It's probably at home. It's on page 111 and it's chapter 75. And it says, turn yourself into a cartoon. But you took this to a whole nother level, Trent Ranburger. You took this into a whole nother level. He looks just like the cartoon on his TV commercial. Well, you look. Tell me about Little Trent. Tell me about Little Trent. We got to cover it.
Okay. So I was watching Facebook, and a local company here in town, a pest control company, which I use actually because they're local. They had little army ant puppets. Me being me, and to kind of revert back a little bit, but like Steve and I, he's my business partner. We talk on the phone hours upon hours, weekly, daily, at night. 9 to 5, 10 to 5, we're at work, but we get home, we're at home, but that gives us also our time. But anyway, we were on the phone that night talking, and I was like, man, I seen, pest control, they have a puppet. I want a puppet. And he was like, what? Why do you want a puppet? I was like, I don't know, but I want a puppet. And we got to talking, and the more and more he was like, he's like, if you're going to get a puppet, it's got to look like you. I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's do it. And so I contacted the guys, which I know. Long story short, Little Trent has Ed Eith. Ed Eith he's the one that drew Little Trent and designed him. Ed Eith has actually worked with Spielberg. You've seen the movie Back to the Future too?
Yeah.
He designed the future city.
Wow.
The movie Hook, he designed the scenes of Hook. He's worked with all those guys. He actually worked side by side with Jim Henson. So Ed Eith is the one that drew him. James Kemp is the gentleman that lives here locally that actually made Little Trent. He's a puppet builder, becoming a world-renowned puppet builder. And it just turned out that he turned out to be a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. People will call and want to set up interviews with Little Trent. I'm not the voice. I'm not the puppeteer. He sits on a shelf. I can't make him work. But people think he's a real person, and we just go off of it, People's like, well, I'm gonna come see Little Trent and get his discount. No problem. He ain't gonna say shit. He's not gonna say anything until I call David, which is the puppeteer. But no, he's turned out. It worked out perfect, because I would eventually like to get off of being the face of Trent Bedding. He is a potential avenue for me to do that, so to speak. And yeah, that's where he came about. Was just a crazy, seen a Facebook ad, had a few beers, and talked to Steve, and damn if I ain't got a little puppet.
Facebook ad from Pest Central Company. They had ant puppets.
Mm-hmm.
They had
little
army ants. Army ant puppets.
Yeah. And it spiraled me into that guy.
That's unbelievable.
And what's crazy, hang on one second, I can show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. So this is something that most people don't get from Mr. Ed Eith. So he sent me the original.
Oh, wow. I can see it.
Drawings.
There, right there. That's perfect. That is so cool, dude.
That's a few, but he actually sent me more.
Wow.
Those are what I had to choose from. And they're signed. Right there.
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed to have the original sketches, because even he told me, he was like, I normally don't give, because he sent me all of those to choose from.
Yeah.
To which puppet we wanted. And he was like, I don't give those out to people. I was like, Ed, I'll pay for them. And he was like, you know what? This is my favorite. He worked with Spielberg and all of those guys, and this was his favorite project.
That is so cool.
And it's so cool to be, I don't know, part of craziness that I created.
Yeah.
It's
That's
so much,
awesome.
so much fun. Put those back in, be easy. I need to get those framed.
Yes,
So
you
if anybody
do.
watching, need to frame.
Hey, Chris, go ahead. Pull out you did this awesome commercial. There's a black and white picture of Trent. Nope. No, keep going. Back.
I know which one.
You just missed that one right there. And then there's another picture that he put the side by side that, and that's the full service Texaco. That's in color. Can you flip that over? Trent, standard oil company. That, Trent, when I saw that on LinkedIn, dude, I said, this dude right here is a freaking genius. Because how many of us long for that, wish for that?
Fill her up, check your oil.
Full service, somebody who gives a damn, someone who cares, somebody who's not just the typical salesperson.
Nope. That
is beautiful. And that is what our industry's missing, dude. They're missing it. It's right under their nose. And if they would just listen to their customers, they would understand it. And, I saw that and I go,
dollar and chase a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's it. One of my first jobs, I was literally the filler up guy.
Were you?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
For my uncle's gas station. That's where I worked when I was 14. I washed cars. Car pulled up. Ding, ding. You walked out. Fill her up. Check the oil. You pop the hood. You check the fluids. You don't have that today.
Yeah.
So I guess I am old school in a new school world. But that's it. Quit chasing the dollar.
Do you know what? Let me tell you something, Trent. You already know this about yourself, but I'm just going to put a point on it. You are not any school. You are one of those few people, not one in a million and not one in a billion, but literally one in a trillion, who doesn't give a crap about this box, this title, that title. You are just being yourself, living this life the best you can, and really putting other people in front of yourself. And that's the secret. That's the real secret. And we can shout it from the rooftop, but if someone, is dead in their heart, they're never going to get it, right? If they can't put somebody else in front of themselves and put them first, they're just never going to get it. But you get it. And every time I hear your voice or I see you on a video, it just comes through so loud and clear that you are one of those rare voices that come to us unfiltered and
be yourself, man.
Willing to take chances that other people are just too scared crapless to do. I mean, when you put that picture of your back up there last June, I start crying. I'm like, this dude is so brave, and what he's doing, the freedom that he has given these patients. And,
you don't be scared.
Be you, don't be scared. That's it.
Don't be scared. To hell with everyone else. You're the one that has to wake up with you every day. Whether you're married, in a relationship, or single, you still have to wake up with you every day. So be you, damn it. You're going to get me on a soapbox, Pete.
No, I'm loving this. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I thought I knew everything about you, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot here in the past 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Chris, can you flip it through there? I think there's one or two more in there I really wanted to get to. This. I need you to talk about this because, you know, some of the guys and gals that own not just furniture or mattress stores, but they own other businesses. They don't get it. They don't go after it. They don't understand the importance. And if they by chance trip over it, they don't even know what to do with it. Can you just talk about it a little bit, Trent?
About what? Being the best? Being voted the best? Or what?
Being the best, being voted the best, and then leveraging it appropriately.
So I'm a competitive individual and I want to win. And my thing is the fight to the top is always tough, right? And those of us that are willing to fight, we fight to get to the top. The problem is a lot of times once you get to the top, you're on top. You quit fighting. No, that's when you start kicking and you kick people down. I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing for being on top. I've done my best to my ability and have been very honored and humbled to be voted the best. I have to live up to that, right? I'm going to stay on top of that. Once and Steve and I talk about this all the time. Once you're on top, you got to kick to stay there.
Yep.
You know, just like if you're in an MMA fight, if you're in a fight in general.
Yep.
If you get somebody on the ground, you keep them down.
So what you just said is I just want to just.
I don't want to sell the best products, and I stand behind it because I know I have the best products out there that I can put my name on, and you can see me at the local restaurant, and I'm not afraid to look at you in your eye if you bought from me, because I know you bought one of the best products for that amount of money you spent.
Yep.
ADD. You sent me on another tangent, but anyway.
No, that's okay. And I'm going on my own tangent too, which you sent me on. This isn't just important to consumers. It's important to your people, the people that work for you. When they see that every day, they know that that doesn't happen without effort, without their commitment to it. If they're not committed to keeping you number one after 11 years, you're not going to be number one in year 12. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
So, you know, a lot of times we're advertising to the people that work with us, our teammates that are part of our company that deliver a superior customer experience to our customers, and having them on board is every bit as important as the customer seeing that and appreciating that. So, I mean, that's not an accident that happened all these years in a row. It's just not an accident. Maybe the first time it was, but not 11 times in a row.
No, I preach it, you know, and to my delivery people, you know, I don't have employees, Pete, right? The name of the company may be Trent Bedding. I don't have employees. I have coworkers. I don't do anything I do without them, from the sales all the way to delivery to anything. And I preach that, even down to my delivery folks. You know, they are the last person that touches my customer. We can have the best rapport in the store, and the delivery team can screw that all up just like that. So no, it is from the top down. And just like right now, you may have noticed or may not have noticed, my delivery guys actually just came in the back door, but they didn't walk through. They went out the door into another one because they knew I was doing this. That's the respect that I get because I give.
Right.
Because I don't have employees. I have coworkers.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
So I was with Serta for 1 year. I wasn't even with him for 1 year. For And then they made me a sales manager. And I called my dad and I said, what do I do? What do I do? And he said, son, don't ever ask anyone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself.
Amen.
And it was the best advice I've ever gotten on sales management. And, you know, how you see your people, that you see them as coworkers, that you see them as teammates, that we're all striving together to get this thing done. That trickles down and that creates a feeling in your store that the customers actually feel. They feel everything that's in there. And whether, you know, I'm not going to light a bunch of candles and start chanting, so don't get worried about that, people.
Yeah, my
but you create a feeling in a store, and if that feeling is good, guess what? The customers feel that, they pick up on that, and they buy. And if there's a bunch of strife and there's a bunch of heavy-handed mismanagement going on of people, and people aren't happy, and it's a place of conflict, that's going to come across to your customers too. So create peace and harmony in your store, and it starts with you. And you know what? We're at an hour. We got to wrap this thing up, Trent. And I could go for 2 more hours, dude. So let's give them something to finish with. What would be the last thing you would say to somebody that's, you know, they own a store, maybe they're not getting the results that they want? What would be your advice? Where do they start? You know, first couple of things that they would do to get themselves back on track.
Think different.
Oh, I love that.
Be
Think
yourself.
different.
Be yourself. And be yourself. Be the first one. You know, Pete, I don't know. That's hard. Because
no, what you said is great.
Be the first one to laugh at yourself, because once you can laugh at yourself, you can do anything.
Yeah.
And never take no for an answer.
Yeah. Now that's important too.
Prove me wrong. Try it. As long as it's not breaking the bank, try it. Why not try it?
And listen, I want to go back to something that you said earlier, Trent. Your people. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I can keep my thought. Go ahead.
Don't advertise today to sell today. Advertise today to sell in 60.
Nice. I'm glad you captured that, because that would have been like a butterfly that floated away, dude.
Be memorable. Be
memorable. And that goes back to being yourself, right? Because if you're yourself, you're going to be memorable. You are. You're going to chances that other people don't think, and they're going to go, what is this dude? This dude doesn't care. It's like,
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you know, everyone listening and watching may not sell mattresses or have furniture. They may sell nuts and bolts or cars and trucks. Who cares? Not every client wants your product today, right?
Yep.
But if they see your advertisement today and they need your product in 6 months, make them remember you. Right?
Exactly.
Make them remember you. You know, when they think about that truck, make them remember Pete or you know, whatever. Anyway, hope you wrote your thought down.
So here's my thought. And I lost it 3 more times, but I found it again. When you had the absolute perfect commercial, and everybody around you was saying, no, don't change it. It was your best commercial. Don't do it. But you said something that's so powerful. It haunted me all night. And so there was some intuition there. There was something there that compelled you, but you listened to it, Trent. And that's what makes you different than other people. You listen to it, and you have to be strong enough. Listen, if you're strong enough to own your own business, you're strong enough at times to ignore the opinions of other people that are trying to pull you away from what you're being pulled to. And it's almost like a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. You went with it and you were rewarded handsomely for it.
15 years later, I still own a mattress store, and geez, I should be working for somebody else. I can make somebody else a lot more money.
Oh,
But no, you're
Lord.
exactly. Don't be scared. And I don't know. It did haunt me.
yeah.
And you
And
know
you
what?
had to, you were compelled to do it.
The second commercial that we shot that day, or well, the second one, cloudy, overcast, terrible footage. But oh well, here we are. I get to talk to you on a podcast.
Trent,
Lil redneck from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
I loved this. I could have done this for 2 or 3 more hours, and we will do it again, my friend. We will do it again.
Thank you so much.
You gave, listen, you have no idea what you got this, and there's a few other things that I still have to write down before they fly out like butterflies. But Trent, say goodbye. Episode 25. That's a wrap. Thank you, Trent. You're the best.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Trent.
God bless. Thank you for coming out.